On day 1, I spawned into the Nether End biome as a baby Fire Enderman. All my fellow Fire Endermen were running for their lives as water shulkers shot them down one by one. My people were under attack. Mom? Dad? I frantically looked for my parents until I spotted them trapped in a cage.
Run, Max, before they capture you too!
Just then, the water shulker overlord emerged before me.
I am now the ruler of the end. All of you pathetic Fire Endermen will serve me.
No! I have to help my people! The shulker overlord then turned his attention towards me.
Get that baby Enderman, man.
Out of nowhere, the water shulker's men began to surround me. I ran as fast as I could, and his men chased after me with the intent to kill. On day 2, I was being pursued by the water shulker overlord's men. As I ran, I suddenly had a strange vision. I was in a field battling it out with a Pokemon trainer. Go Pikachu!
Go Charmander!
Our Pokemon clash in a battle of epic proportions. Even though my Pikachu was smaller, I was able to take out the dragon. Man, I wish I could battle even more Pokemon in Minecraft. Everyone check the link in the description now. Come with me in a Minecraft survival world full of Pokemons, where you can catch the strongest legendaries and battle with your favorite Pokemon. There are tons of cool features, like voice chat, dancing emotes, costumes, and events such as big boss fights and tournaments where you can earn real-life cash. There are also entertainment shows where people sing or perform, so what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description. This is what textures and costumes look like in the game, all in this awesome launcher. You can log in with Mojang or Microsoft. All you need to do is hit the play button to start your Pokemon adventure. Click the link in the description to download for free on Windows or Mac, and I'll see you there. Also, check out this awesome Maxcraft costume. I'll show you how to get this for free at the end of the video, so keep watching and click the link in the description. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to join the Pixelmon community and embark on the ultimate Pokemon adventure. See you there! Thanks Pixelmon to Go for sponsoring this video. Just then, I snapped back to reality. I knew I couldn't run forever, so I quickly ducked down into a hiding spot. To my surprise, another Fire Enderman was already there. Who are you?
I'm Ember. I'm happy to see another Fire Enderman out here.
Same! Just then, the Shulker Overlord men spotted us.
Run!
Ember and I ran for our lives, doing our best to stay away from the minions. We ran until a river blocked our path. The water Shulkers brought water here? Ugh!
Don't worry, I got this.
Ember stepped back and made a running start to try and jump over the river. Unfortunately, they missed the jump and died as soon as they hit the water. Water is lethal for Fire Endermen?
There's the Enderman. Get him.
I could hear the Shulker's minions fast approaching, so I had to think fast. Here goes nothing! I tried to use my teleportation abilities to make it across the river. To my horror, I almost fell into the water by mistake. Luckily, I managed to land on a chorus plant, saving me from my doom. That was close. I continued to use my teleportation powers until finally stumbling upon a portal. With nowhere else to go, I jumped in. On day 3, I reached the other side of the portal to realize I was on an island. I'm surrounded by water! Where am I supposed to go now? I looked all around me and spotted an airship in the sky above. I decided to teleport onto it and finally arrived to safety. Ooh, I hope the minions can't find me here. Just then, I spotted a strange map on the floor and picked it up. Fire Forged End Pearl 1. What's that? It sounds powerful.
It's none of your business, stowaway.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Get off me ship, you scallywag.
The airship captain began to fire at me with his weapons. I had no choice but to fight back with powers of my own. As a Fire Enderman, not only could I teleport, but I could also shoot fire abilities. I evaded him the best I could and retaliated with my fire attack. Despite my efforts, I was just too weak to beat him. But before the captain could land the finishing blow, he stopped attacking me.
No, me ship. She's on fire. She's going to crash.
The captain ran away in a frenzy. My fire attacks were causing the ship to fall from the sky. I gotta get out of here! I rushed to one of the emergency boats and jumped ship. I made it into the water and began to row to safety. On days 4 through 7, I managed to escape the ocean and made it to shore. With things finally calmer, I took a look at the map I found. What's this Fireforged Ender Pearl thing all about?
Did you say Fire-Forged Ender Pearl?
Suddenly, a strange old Fire Enderman came out of nowhere. Ah! Who are you?
I'm Eugene, and you just got yourself a very valuable map. The mob that's able to collect all 6 fire-forged ender pearls will summon the ultimate protector. It's fabled that this mob is capable of taking down any foe.
Whoa, that means I can summon them to save my parents and take out the water shulker overlord. I know what I gotta do. Just as I was about to begin my journey, dark clouds gathered in the sky. Oh no, rain will kill me. I need to build a base fast. I gathered whatever materials I could all around me and built a quick structure for Eugene and I to take cover in. Just as I finished, rain began to pour from the sky above. The overworld is way too dangerous for me to live here. I want to build a proper base in the nether end. The rain finally cleared up and Eugene spoke to me.
Thanks for the cover, sport.
Eugene tossed over some steak for me to eat. This will definitely come in handy. With my mind made up, I set off towards the location on the map to obtain the first Fireforged Ender Pearl. On days 8 through 11, I was traveling through the desert and stumbled upon the Water Shulker's minions gathering materials for some sort of building project. I stealthily skulked forward to get a better look. Now what are you guys up to? Is that a nether portal? I wanted to disrupt what they were doing, but as I started to count my potential enemies, I realized that I was massively outnumbered. If I alert even one of them, it'll be game over. I'll have to be careful and stay hidden. I snuck around the areas that I could, and used my teleportation to cover longer distances. That is, until I failed to see one of the water minions leaning up against a structure I teleported on top of.
Ah, you! What are you doing here?
The minion immediately called for backup.
Intruder! We have an intruder!
I tried to fight off the wave of minions, but they were far too strong and numerous. This is bad! I need to think of something, and fast! I took in my surroundings and saw the obsidian frame staring back at me. The portal! That's it! I'd used my fire powers to send a tiny ball of flames towards the portal and activated it.
Don't let him get away! After him!
Woohoo! Time to go! I jumped through the portal and into the nether, but the water minions followed closely behind. My teleportation abilities were failing me, and at the worst time too. Perfect! Just what I needed! Despite being terribly outnumbered, I turned on my heel to face down my foes. To my surprise, the minions steamed and sizzled, shrinking to a fraction of their original size. I charged back in to fend off my foes. With them being weakened, it was starting to feel more like a fair fight. They tried to swarm me again, but I kept them at bay with my fireballs. My attacks proved more effective against the shrunken minions. They quickly adapted to their smaller size to duck and dodge and surround me. With my Enderman powers, I launched blocks at them until I finished them all off. Finally able to catch my breath, I took in the new biome around me. I couldn't go back through the portal. Surely those guys would be ready and waiting for me to come back. I'll need to find another way out of here. So I pressed on deeper into the nether, not knowing what awaited me. On days 12 through 14, I delved deeper into the nether until I came across a bastion. Whoa! What are the chances it's in there? I decided to check it out, climbing up through the complex structure. It was confusing at first, but being able to teleport around made it really easy to explore. Nice! I already made it to the top! Arriving on the roof, I finally found what I've been searching for. The first Fireforged Ender Pearl was sitting on an altar atop the bastion. Whoa! It's beautiful! Today must be my lucky day. I wasted no time and ran up to the altar, but before I could grab it, a massive salamander appeared out of nowhere. Before I could react, it hopped up and swallowed the pearl whole. Hey, that's not yours! I charged into battle, launching blocks at the fiery monster. I ran around the fiery beast, but all of my attacks were just tickling it. It lumbered towards me, biting at me, but I was easily able to avoid it. Its powerful mounted cannon launched a barrage of explosive firepower at me. I tried to evade it, but his cannon shots were all accurately aimed at me. Ugh! He's so tough! What is this guy made of? Finally, I landed a solid strike on the beast, and it spat out the Fireforged Ender Pearl. Finally! It's mine now! I suddenly transformed when I touched it. I grew taller, my arms and legs stretching. I felt the power of fire swirl within me. I was now an adult Fire Enderman. Whoa, I feel so powerful. Not only did I grow into an adult, but I had new fire powers too. The salamander roared and charged me once more, but I quickly overpowered him with my new ability. Even the salamander, with its fiery skin, couldn't survive it. Yay! I finally won! Now that I had claimed the first Fireforged Pearl, I was one step closer to summoning the Protector. On days 15 through 18, I returned to my shelter to find Eugene was gone. Where did that old nut go? Suddenly, a water golem ambushed me.
The water shulker will be pleased with my catch.
Oh no you don't! I tried to fend them off with my new fire abilities, but they were too strong to defeat with brute force. I was gonna have to outsmart them. I began to teleport away until I suddenly stumbled upon a ravine. I got an idea! Come and get me! The monster charged me full speed, but just before he could hit me, I teleported away, causing them to fall to their death. My base has been compromised. Where's the last place they'd find me? Suddenly, I had a great idea. I returned to the nether end and discovered that the place was abandoned. The only thing that remained was Eugene.
The water shulker has left the area to conquer more of the end. I doubt he'll expect you to be here.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna make my base here. I got to work on my very own Fire Enderman base. I made an ender head using netherrack and nether bricks. I started with the sides of the head and then filled in the top. I finished with the eyes on the front of the face using smooth glowstone and redstone blocks. After that, I added a room for both Eugene and myself. Once the rooms were completed, I mounted my first pearl onto the wall. 5 more to go. Just then, I was teleported to the overworld. What the? Standing before me was none other than the Water Shulker Overlord with a bunch of Endermen suspended in a cage. This is horrible!
Tell me where the other pearls are, Fire Enderman.
What? Are you talking to me?
Of course I am. I know you know their whereabouts. Tell me where they are, or your people will pay.
Please, I don't know where they are.
Liar!
The Water Shulker Overlord casted a powerful magic that caused the platform below the cage to vanish. All of the Fire Endermen fell to their doom. You monster!
Maybe I am.
The Water Shulker vanished and a massive mutant Water Shulker approached me. I had no choice but to defend myself. The monster charged towards me, snapping its large mob teeth repeatedly. I had almost no time to counterattack as it chased me relentlessly. Teleporting around, I was able to get some shots in before it flew into the air. It released a volley of shulker bullets that weaved through the air. I dodged expertly against the flying missiles and waited for it to open its mouth to send fireballs and fire tornadoes to hurt it. The fight was tough, but after a while, I managed to defeat the mutated beast. Upon his death, he dropped a map titled Fireforged Ender Pearl 2. That must be where the Water Shulker is heading next. I better try and beat him there. On days 23 through 25, I arrived at the location of the second Fireforged Ender Pearl, but unfortunately, the Shulkers had already gotten there before me. I better stay hidden.
What in the world? It's just a weird plant?
Did I really come all the way here for nothing?
I better get back to the boss before I waste more time here.
I watched as the disgruntled Shulker minion filed out of the area, and I walked up to the plant. Huh, that's so odd. I was puzzled. Everything pointed to this being the location of the second pearl. I was sure of it. Then, out of curiosity, I tried something. What if I pulled out my Fire Ender Soul hand, and something within the plant stirred and activated. Before I could react, I was sent hurtling inside of it. Am I inside the plant? I must be super tiny. I took in all of my breathtaking surroundings. Whoa, this place is beautiful. I wandered the area, encountering all sorts of greenery. Eventually, I found the center, and floating atop a pedestal was a Fire Ender Pearl. Well, that was easier than expected. I raced to the pedestal, but suddenly a massive creature dropped from the ceiling and crashed onto the floor.
The unworthy may not claim the pearl. Only those who prove themselves can do so.
Yeah, that seems about right.
For your first trial, you must teleport from platform to platform high in the sky.
I had a few close calls, but I managed to do it. I stood triumphantly at the end of the course. Easy peasy.
Your second trial to prove your worthiness will be to levitate blocks and hit flying mobs.
You think I can do that?
Of course. You call yourself an Enderman?
I concentrated on the blocks around me and sent them hurtling at my airborne targets. But I couldn't land a solid hit. Ugh! You know what? I have an easier way. I used my powers to set a little ball of fire at the targets and finish them with ease.
I suppose that counts. Very well. Time for your final test.
The Guardian led me to a maze that I would have to escape. This'll be a piece of cake. I can do this no problem.
There is one extra wrinkle.
What's that?
You will have to escape without being caught by him.
I turned around and saw a horrible monster ready to bear down on me. Run away! Though I tried my hardest to escape, I couldn't keep a good distance between us. Every time I looked back, he got closer and closer. You're pretty fast for a big guy. I rounded the corner and into a dead end. Ah! No! The monster turned the corner. Once he was ready to pounce, I teleported between his legs and past him. With the monster still dazed and confused, I sprinted for the exit into safety. I did it!
Excellent work, Max. You are indeed worthy. The pearl is yours.
I ran forward and grabbed the pearl off of its pedestal. Suddenly, everything went white. I woke up next to the plant, but it had sprouted a pearl. This must be it. I grabbed it and held it in my hands. With all this new power, I'm one step closer to summoning the Mighty Protector. On days 29 through 31, my Ender Pearl transformation began. I grew in size and gained 5 hearts, and even a scythe ability. This is amazing! I returned to the base with my newly acquired powers. Looking at the building, I realized something. I've been getting bigger all this time, but my base has stayed the same. Time to do some expanding. I began to add more detail to the interior, completing another room for a future guest. Then, to get a consistent source of food going, I started a Cora's fruit garden. As I was finishing up, an Endermaptera approached me.
Hello.
Oh, hey there, little guy.
I'm so lonely and cold. My home was destroyed by terrible monsters. Can I stay with you?
I can't say no to such a cute face. Let's get somewhere for you to stay. Luckily, I had already built an extra room, so I got the little guy situated in there. I'll leave you to get acquainted with your surroundings. Later in the day, Eugene ran up to me in a frenzy.
Max! Max!
He looked all sweaty and panted heavily. Eugene, what's up? Just tell me what's wrong.
Call an exterminator! The base is infested!
It's what now? I followed Eugene back to the base and saw what he was so worried about. The entire place was crawling with endermites. What the? What's going on here? I leave for 30 minutes. All right, endermites, prepare to face your doom. I charged forward and began stomping them out one by one. Ew, 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 ew. They swarmed together in a group and charged at me, but I fought them back by throwing blocks and squashing them. After tons of non-stop bug slaying, I thought I had taken care of them all. Then, I felt a rumbling under my feet. That can't be good. Suddenly, a flood of endermites poured in out of nowhere. What is this? Where did you all come from? Then, as if on cue, the Endermaptera I had just recruited emerged from a room. Get out of here, little guy! This place is swarming with bugs!
Yes, my brothers, consume! The water shulker will be pleased!
You work for the water shulker? Then you're no friend of mine! I started throwing fire magic at him, but he was quick. Stay still! He kept evading my attacks, and all I ended up doing was setting my own base on fire. Ah! My base! My hard work!
Foolish Enderman! Is that the best you've got?
Not even close. As the creature dodged around, I shot fireballs in his direction, purposely missing until he was surrounded by fire. Gotcha!
Uh-oh!
I charged up a blast of fire and hurled it at him for a critical hit. When the main creature died, the endermites died with him. Once the dust settled, I noticed a nearly charred piece of paper the Endermaptera dropped. Oh, what's this? It was a clue to the whereabouts of the next pearl. Looks like I know where I'm going next. Eugene, watch the place while I'm gone.
Sure thing!
On days 35 through 38, I arrived at the spot on the map to discover I was in a strange new biome in the end. It was full of bulbous trees and felt magical. What is this place? I've never seen it before. I looked around and spotted the next Fireforged Ender Pearl inside of one of the trees. Perfect! I teleported up towards it and did everything in my power to try and break through the tree. But no matter what I did, it wouldn't budge. How do I get in there? Just then, a little ender bee flew up to me.
The only way to reach that pearl is to make the tree bloom.
How do I do that?
You must bring the nectar of the ender plant, but it's sealed away in an underground cavern.
Not a problem for me. You got it. I began to travel all around the end in search of anything that looked mysterious. After a lot of searching, I discovered the entrance to a cavern surrounded by plant life. This has to be it. I ran inside, and there I saw a vial of the precious nectar waiting. I quickly ran over and snatched it for safekeeping. Easy peasy. Suddenly, the ground began to shake and water leaks sprung from the walls left and right. The place is trapped! I gotta get out of here! On days 39 through 41, I had the nectar in hand, and I was carefully trying to teleport from one dry spot to another. One touch from the water, and I would be a goner. Almost there! Once I reached the exit, a watcher dropped out of my way.
Who dares to tamper with the Elder Plant's nectar? Perish!
The Watcher went in for an attack, but I managed to teleport behind him to evade it. Leave me alone, dude! I made a run for it and teleported behind cover to try and keep myself hidden. To my horror, the Watcher teleported next to me. What? How did you find me?
I am the Watcher. I see all.
The Watcher once again attacked, and I knew I couldn't run anymore. I had to face him head on. The Watcher charged me and smacked me, and I fought back with all I had. He had a crazy ender-powered beam that he shot out of his chest, and he could teleport around just as fast as I could. He waddled after me, but I held him back using my fire attacks, particularly my Court of Ember Fire Tornado. It helped me keep him at arm's length while I wore him down. The battle was hard, but eventually I managed to overcome the horrible monster. Upon his death, he dropped an enderite helmet, which disabled my fall damage. This could come in handy. I returned to the tree biome and handed the nectar over to the ender bee.
This is perfect! One more, please.
The bee flew up to the tree and used the nectar to make the leaves disappear. Thank you! I teleported up and claimed the 3rd Fireforge Ender Pearl. Just like the times before, a sensation overcame me, but it felt even more overwhelming. My legs grew even longer and my body bigger. I sprouted powerful hands and I felt the forces of fire overwhelm me. I was now a mutant Enderman. I had 25 hearts and the ability Lantern of Blazing Souls. Whoa, I'm halfway there!
Not for long.
Out of nowhere, the Water Shulker Overlord emerged before me.
Hand over the pearls.
You're not getting anything from me. I'm stronger now.
You're becoming a real pain in my side, Beauty Enderman. Hand over the pearl now.
Nope.
Need I remind you that I still have your parents held captive?
Don't you dare hurt them, or I'll destroy you.
We'll see about that.
Just then, I heard the sound of thunder roar around me. What? We're in the end! There's no weather here!
That doesn't matter. I can control water anywhere!
I teleported back under the tree to take cover before the rain started. On days 46 through 48, I was still stuck in the middle of the end due to the rain, but I had an idea. It was time to start digging. I dug through the end for a while, and conveniently was able to find a portal to the overworld. What's this doing here? Oh well, I need to get help. I jumped inside and emerged back in the overworld again. I quickly realized I was in the presence of a water mob. Whoa, who are you?
I'm Trey. Why are you in my house?
Well, I just had a run-in with the Water Shulker Overlord. He tried to kill me, but I found a portal to the overworld and made my escape.
The Water Shulker stinks. How can I help?
My new friend Trey agreed to train me to help me gain resistance in the rain.
You need to stand in the rain for small increments at a time, so you could slowly build up your strength.
But I'll die before I can do that.
Not necessarily.
Trey tossed a potion of resistance at me, and I suddenly felt more powerful.
With that, you shouldn't instantly die.
Okay, here goes nothing. All of a sudden, it began to rain, and I started getting hurt by poison damage. Ah! I'm gonna die! I need to get out of this!
No, wait, just a little bit longer.
I listened to him, and suddenly the poison effect vanished. Whoa! Now I can be in the rain!
Fantastic job! Swimming will still be lethal for you, but now you can navigate in the rain.
Thanks, Trey! Suddenly, a mutant drowned appeared out of nowhere and kidnapped Trey. Trey, no! I chased after him as fast as I could. On days 49 through 52, I arrived at a location next to the ocean. There was nothing but water for miles. Where did he go? Just then, the mutant drowned emerged from the water in front of me.
Surprise! Take this!
The mutant drowned whipped up a nasty storm, causing it to rain onto me. Luckily, I had trained with Trey, so it had no effect on me.
I see my brother taught you well.
Trey is your brother? Why did you take him?
Because he doesn't like the Water Shulker Overlord. I'll give the Overlord both you and my brother and get a wonderful reward.
The mutant drowned summoned a ton of drowned creepers all around me and hopped back into the ocean. I had to defend myself. The drowned creepers all ran at me, and I fought them off with my end powers. When they died, they dropped tridents, which I grabbed and threw back at them. More kept coming out of the water, but they were no match for my powerful abilities. I trapped some of them in my firestorm, which caused them to explode. And then I finished the rest of them off with their own tridents. After a fierce battle, I managed to take out the last of his goons. Who said fire doesn't beat water? Just then, I spotted a strange note and picked it up. The 4th Fireforged Pearl is concealed in water. What does that mean? Suddenly, a temple appeared from the water below like magic. Could the Pearl and Trey be inside of there? Only one way to find out. On days 53 through 55, I entered the temple to find the Pearl with Trey suspended above it. I'm coming for you, Trey!
No, wait, it's a trap!
Before I could react, a cage appeared around me. What the? Just then, the mutant drowned walked out.
Looks like it's my lucky day. My traitor brother, the Fire Enderman Rebel, and the 4th Ender Pearl are all in one place.
The mutant drowned, snatched the pearl, and grew larger than before. Oh no you don't! I blasted through the cage with my fire powers and engaged in battle. I used my lantern of blazing souls to summon a bunch of souls to attack him. It then switched to my Ender Soul hand. His smash attack was really strong, and he was resistant to fire, but with all of my abilities combined, I was starting to wear him down. The battle was fierce, but I managed to defeat the mutant goon. Upon his death, he dropped the 4th pearl, which I claimed for myself. Suddenly, I began to levitate into the air. My limbs transformed into powerful cannons, and my fire powers became even hotter and more powerful. I now had 30 hearts and could fly. Whoa! Don't worry, Trey. I'm coming for you. I flew up and freed Trey from his prison.
Thank you for everything. What do you plan to do once you get the last 2 pearls?
I'm gonna summon the Great Protector. The Water Shulker doesn't stand a chance. On days 56 through 58, I traveled to the overworld and decided to test out my new powers on some mobs. I flew around and blasted them away one by one. The 4 Fireforged Ender Pearls had really made me stronger. With the power of both the Great Protector and myself, the Water Shulker will be done for. After that, I returned to my base, where the Ender Bee from a few days prior buzzed up to me.
Hey, Max! It's been dangerous here with the Water Shulker Overlord attacking. Could I stay at your base?
Sure thing. I got to work on a brand new room for my bee friend. I made sure it had everything it needed to remind her of home. Building is much easier now that I can fly. With the time I saved from flying, I decided to add even more detail to my base to make it more and more refined for a fire enderman. Once I was done, a swarm of ender bees flew up to me.
I invited my friends. I hope that's okay.
No worries. Have fun.
Thanks! Oh, by the way, I came across this map. I thought you could use it.
The Ender Bee tossed over a map that would take me in the direction of the next Fireforged Ender Pearl. Making friends always has its advantages. Off to the next pearl. On days 59 through 61, I traveled towards the location on the map until I came across 2 Booflo entities arguing.
What, do you think I'm lying?
Well, you're certainly not telling the truth.
Oh, of course you'd say that. You're so mean. I'm leaving.
The 2 of them took off into the sky, leaving me in the dust. Phew, that was rough. Suddenly, a baby Booflo emerged in front of me.
Mommy? Daddy?
Oh no! That couple left their kid! Hey, come back! Unfortunately, the couple was too far away to hear me.
Dada?
No. I'm Max, a friend. Let's get you back to your parents, okay? The baby had the ability to fly, so the 2 of us took to the skies to find the baby's lost family. On days 62 through 64, I traveled with the baby Booflo, but he was starting to get hungry. Alright, little guy, eat this. I gave him some of my food and he scarfed it down. Suddenly, he grew into a larger Booflo. Whoa, you just got a lot cuter. Come on, let's keep moving. We kept moving until arriving at a colony of Booflos. Right away, I got to searching for the baby's mom and dad. Anybody lose a kid? Anyone?
Mommy? Daddy?
Don't worry, kid. We'll find them soon enough. Finally, we came across a couple who were still fighting about something. That must be them. I walked up to them and got their attention. Excuse me, guys. Did you lose a child?
What the? Hey, that's the guy who stole our child.
What? No, I was just...
My baby!
Just then, the Booflos around town began to attack me.
Hey, that guy stole that family's kid. Let's get him.
On days 65 through 68, I was being attacked by the Booflo village. No, please, I don't want to hurt you. My pleas wouldn't stop them, so I tried to avoid them in the sky. Unfortunately for me, they could fly too. The Booflos came at me with incredible power. They were skilled flyers, and I had to be sure to evade their attacks the best I could. I fired my blaster around the Booflos to try and scare them off. I didn't want to hurt them directly, but they weren't listening to me. I continued to demonstrate my fire powers to stop them, but they didn't care. I was beginning to lose the battle. Please, I'm telling the truth!
Yeah, right. We're gonna make you pay.
As I thought I was done for, the baby Booflo flew in between me and the others.
Max saved me. Please don't hurt him.
Oh, my baby can talk? Oh, that's his first sentence!
Is this true, Max? Did you say you're our child?
Yes! I think this is just a big misunderstanding. The fighting stopped, and the family apologized to me for the misunderstanding.
Is there anything we can do as an apology?
By chance, you know the whereabouts of the next Fireforged Ender Pearl?
Actually, we do! Go and take this!
She tossed over a map to the next pearl, and it appeared to be close. This is perfect. Thank you so much. On days 69 through 71, I arrived at the location on the map to discover another portal waiting for me. It must be right through the portal. I hopped inside and found myself in a brand new biome full of glowstone. There, the next Fireforged Ender Pearl was waiting for me. There it is! I began to approach it when I was stopped by a piglin troop.
Halt! You're walking on sacred ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just really need that pearl. The water shulker is gonna kill me and my family if I don't.
Do we look like we care about Enderman?
Well, that was rude.
Be gone.
The piglin army showed up and charged at me with the intent to kill. I had no choice but to fight them. The piglins came at me in hordes and I didn't have a lot of room to move around. I planted myself in the middle like a turret and began to fire at the piglin forces all around me. They charged and charged, but they didn't stand a chance against my firepower. I blasted my way through all the piglins' golden armor and cooked them into pork chops. After a long battle, I managed to overcome the piglins. Now's my chance! I snagged the pearl, causing me to undergo another transformation. My body grew bigger and more powerful. I now had 35 hearts and a flame dragon bone sword. I'm one pearl away from taking down the water shulker. I tried to make my way out of the area when suddenly a giant zombified piglin emerged.
Boy, intruder!
I took to the skies and began to blast away at the warrior. He was stronger than the other piglin I had fought and managed to take multiple powerful attacks from me like nothing. He slammed down onto me with his hammer and even ground pounded to try and throw me off guard. Luckily, I was able to evade the attacks with my ability to fly. I continued to slash and slash with my new Flame Dragon Bone Sword to try and dwindle his health with some burn damage. It was a difficult fight, but I managed to get the upper hand and defeat the Piglin Warrior. Time to head back home and prepare to seek the final pearl. On days 72 through 75, I returned home to find the Water Shulker Overlord waiting. My base was in ruin, and Eugene was trapped in a cage. What do you want?
I'm here to show you what happens when you cross me. I'm taking this little fire Enderman with me.
Not without going through me first. I charged in on the water shulker to take him out once and for all. I started by blasting at him with my fireballs, but he was able to deflect them with his powerful armor. The water shulker smashed his fists into the ground and began to summon magical gems from below. I had to be sure to fly out of their range, otherwise I would be finished quickly. Unfortunately for me, he could also fire powerful projectiles from afar that were difficult to avoid. I changed my tactics and tried to get in some hits up close with my Flame Dragon Bone Sword, but he would overwhelm me with his crushing attacks from his fists. The fight was looking grim, but I couldn't give up. I had to save Eugene. I fought and fought the best I could, but no matter what I did, he was still too strong. I did the best I could, but even with the power of 5 forged ender pearls, I couldn't defeat him. I'm still too weak?
Pathetic Enderman. You will never defeat me.
The water shulker vanished along with Eugene. This is the last straw. I'm summoning the Protector no matter what. On days 76 through 78, I began to repair the base from all the damage made by the water shulker. I filled in the holes in the ground and replaced missing blocks. Once everything was rebuilt, the Ender Bees returned home.
That was so scary! And they took Eugene!
I know it was. I'm sorry for everything. I promise I'll save Eugene and keep you guys safe. To clear my head, I decided to do a bit of expanding on the base. First, I added a tower similar to one of my powerful fire cannons. Afterwards, I went inside and placed down some poised plants to make the Ender Bee more at home. With that, my expansion was complete. I can't wait for Mom, Dad, and Eugene to all see this. Once I was done, I decided to get a bit of rest, but while I was asleep, I had a strange dream. I was standing inside of a dark void and a powerful entity was in front of me. Who are you?
I am the Protector, the one you seek to summon by collecting all 6 fire-forged ender pearls.
Whoa! I've been dying to talk to you! I quickly explained everything to the Protector and asked if he could help me if I found the final pearl.
Your cause is just. I would be happy to help you after you find the 6th pearl.
I'm not sure where to start looking.
Take this clue. The final pearl is encased inside of ice. Good luck, Fire Enderman.
Just like that, I woke up. Time to head to the overworld. On days 79 through 82, I arrived in the overworld and began my search for a snowy biome. After some looking, I found one, but it was in the middle of a blizzard. Here goes nothing. I used my fire magic to keep myself warm and pushed my way through the storm. As I traveled, I spotted a cyclops next to a giant chunk of ice.
Please help us, fiery one. Our friend is stuck in ice.
I'm pretty sure it's too late for him. He looks like a zombie.
No, please.
Well, okay then. I used my fire to melt through the ice and free the cyclops. Good morning. Just as I suspected, the frozen cyclops had already been long dead. He attacked me. I used everything I had to fend off his attacks. For his massive size, the Cyclops was incredibly fast. He swung at me with his club and evaded my attacks with his speed. I had to have careful aim to make sure I was landing hits. I used my Court of Embers to summon powerful fire tornadoes at the zombie and blasted him down with my fireballs. Unfortunately for me, it was difficult to land projectiles. I changed my course of action and got in close with my Dreadsteel Scythe and Flame Dragon Bone Sword. I slashed away at him with all of my might and backed off whenever he was landing too many hits on me. After a long battle, I managed to defeat the one-eyed zombie.
Oh man, he owed me 10 emeralds.
Sorry, do you by chance know where an Ender Pearl is?
Keep heading north. I'm pretty sure I heard something about an artifact being over there.
Thanks! On days 83 through 86, I went the direction the Cyclops sent me and discovered a frozen over cavern that looked important. Huh, it must be just through here. I started blasting away, melting all the ice with my fire powers. Easy peasy. Suddenly, I started hearing the sound of rushing water. I looked up and a waterfall was heading right towards me. Ah! I quickly flew inside the entrance before it got blocked off by water. Yikes! I had to be careful what I melt here. The water is dangerous. I turned around and discovered the Ender Pearl sitting there waiting for me. The only thing was that it was being guarded by a giant sleeping Undertaker. I'd rather not wake that guy up. I better stealth this one out. I slowly snuck my way towards the Ender Pearl. Everything was going fine until I felt an itch in my nose. No. Achoo! Uh-oh. The noise was loud and caused the Undertaker to wake up. I leapt into battle with the Undertaker, but my fire attacks were melting the ice all around me, creating new water sources I had to avoid. I have to be careful! I'm making more hazards for myself! The Undertaker summoned a horde of undead at me. Normally, I would make quick work of them with my fire blasts, but another one of those would flood the battleground. Instead, I switched to my Flame Dragon Bone Sword and slashed him down one by one the old-fashioned way. After a while, I switched my attention to the Undertaker himself and overwhelmed him bit by bit. Unfortunately for him, he didn't stand a chance against my flaming blade. After a long battle, I managed to take down the Undertaker. Time to claim that pearl. I grabbed the 6th and final Fireforge Ender Pearl, causing me to undergo my final transformation. I grew even larger and more powerful. Not only that, but I had 5 more hearts. I did it! I suddenly heard the Protector's voice boom in my head.
Congratulations, Max. You now have the power to summon me whenever you're ready.
Then it's finally time to take out the Water Shulker Overlord. On days 91 through 94, I returned to the end and located the Water Shulker's evil castle. Mom, Dad, Eugene, I'm coming for you! I flew inside the castle and found my parents and Eugene trapped in separate cages. There, the Water Shulker stood in between them.
Well. Looks like you came to save your family and friend. Oh well. Looks like it's finally time for you to die.
Not yet! I took out all 6 of my Fireforge Ender Pearls and felt a strange power. Suddenly, the Protector was summoned before me.
You fall here.
You're underestimating my power.
The two clash in a battle of epic proportions. The Water Shulker Overlord went at the Protector with all the same skills he used on me previously. He summoned gems from the ground and fired projectiles that caused the Protector to levitate in the air. Unfortunately for him, the Protector was far stronger than he could have anticipated. The two brawled up close and the Protector pierced through his armor with his powerful stinger. Whenever he had the chance, he fired a projectile that broke through the Water Shulker's defenses like nothing. It was clear who the stronger mob really was. The battle was fierce, but the Water Shulker didn't stand a chance. Just like the legends had said, the Protector was the most powerful creature I had ever seen. Yes! We're free!
Free? More like under new management.
To my shock, the Protector charged in and hit me with a powerful attack. What?
Thanks for summoning me. Now nothing will stop me from dominating this entire realm.
The Protector began attacking me with all of his powers. I had no choice but to flee. On days 95 through 98, I returned to the overworld to prepare myself for the final battle. I started by mining for some diamond and crafted it into powerful armor. Next, I gathered all of the food I would need for the journey ahead. Once my preparations were made, I decided to do the last bits of expanding to my base. I started by adding more towers to the outside of my base to better resemble my final form. Afterwards, I built more rooms for all of the Fire Endermen to stay in once they were saved. Next, I made a room full of ender chests to store everything I could possibly need. Lastly, I made replicas of each of my Fireforged Ender Pearls on the walls to give the interior more pizzazz. With that, my Enderman fortress was complete. Looks like that's it. Just then, the Ender Bee buzzed up to me.
Thank you for everything, Max! We wanted to give you something!
She tossed over a potion of strength to help me in the final battle.
Good luck! You got this!
Thanks! I won't let you guys down. I took my new gear and set off towards the Protector's castle. On day 99, I arrived back at the castle to discover that all the blocks had been changed. I guess the Protector has already done some remodeling. Suddenly, the Water Shulker's minions all flew out to fight me. The Protector must be their new leader! Bring it on! The Water Shulkers swarmed me like killer bees. I had fought them before, but now they were stronger. My fireballs didn't do anything to them. They were immune. Instead, I went in with my Flame Dragon Bone Sword to slice them down one by one. While it did massive damage, it was hard to keep them at bay. I switched to my Flamethrower attack as well as my Lantern to try and hit them down as a swarm instead. With the combination of my 2 fire projectiles, I managed to melt through their armor. I fought as hard as I could and eventually defeated the last minion. Okay, time to take down the Protector. I entered the castle, ready to take on my final opponent. On day 100, I arrived inside of the throne room of the Protector. There, my parents and Eugene were still in cages. Free my family and my people, you traitor!
Why would I do that? I'm having so much fun. These lands will all soon be mine to rule, and no one can stop me.
No one? I'll stop you!
You couldn't even stop the Water Shulker. How do you expect to stop me?
Fight me and find out! I chugged down my potion of strength and the two of us clashed in the final battle. The Protector came at me with his powerful stinger, dealing massive damage every hit he managed to land. I took to the skies and evaded them the best I could. He didn't seem powerful, but his pincers were incredibly strong. I doused the big bad with my flames and shot at him from the sky above. He retaliated with his own projectiles, but I didn't give up the fight. I continued my onslaught and unloaded my arsenal of abilities onto him all at once. Whenever he got close, I slashed away at him with my Flame Dragon Bone Sword and Scythe. Finally, I overpowered the Protector with my fire magic and defeated him once and for all. I did it! To get this awesome Maxcraft costume, install the launcher in the description now and use the code /Maxcraft in chat to get the exclusive Maxcraft costume for free. Hurry! This offer won't last forever. PTG will also hand $100 to a random user who used code Maxcraft and is most active in the community. Join the adventure and be the envy of all of your friends. Thanks again to Pixelmon To Go for sponsoring this video.